everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's GeGe Yoga. Today we have a short and sweet flow from the south of France. I'm on holiday right now, and it's for heart opening and opening from all sides of the body. So if you want to feel a little bit more awake, a little bit more energized in your day, this is a great flow for that. So let's get started. So we're going to start cross-legged down on your mat or your towel in my case, and straight away I want you to sit up nice and tall. Think big oak tree through the spine, and close down the eyes, hands go onto the knees. We're going to start with a couple of deep breaths. So here we go, long deep breath in through the nose and a gentle sigh out through the mouth. Two more just like that. Inhale and exhale. One more, make it the best one yet. Inhale and exhale. I want you to drop left ear to left shoulder. Really feeling that stretch through the opposite side of the neck. Try and keep the opposite shoulder down. And then drop your chin down to your chest. So beautiful little quarter circle here. And then towards the other ear or the other shoulder. Already getting zened out. And back to center. And let's do that on the other side. Ear to shoulder. Remembering to keep this one down. Try and keep both hips on the ground as well. And then chin down to the chest. And then round ear to shoulder. And back to center. Whew, beautiful. I want you to take one hand, the fingertips down to the ground. The other hand is going to reach all the way up really high. Really find some length here through the side body. Lift the rib cage. And then exhale as you start to lean over. Now, try to avoid dumping into your neck here. Take shoulders away from the ears. Again, thinking about lifting that rib cage towards the sky. You can even take your gaze up. Be careful of that sun, it might blind you. And back to center. And then let's take it on the other side. Inhale. Really lengthening up, lift the rib cage. And exhale as you lean over. Really enjoy opening up through that chest. And back to center. Beautiful, let's get going. So, coming onto your tabletop, all fours. So, hands underneath the shoulder points, hips, knees underneath the hip points. And start with integrity here, so really pushing through the palms. Let the tops of your feet connect with the floor. And we're just going to take one round of regular cat-cow here. So inhale, drop the belly, lift the tailbone, lift the chest, lift the chin. And then exhale, opposite motion. Really tuck that tailbone in. It's as if somebody's pushing their hand into your stomach, really rounding through the shoulders. And back to center. We're going to veer a little bit off the railroad tracks and take a circle cat-cow. So whichever direction you choose, arch the back as you circle over your wrist, give them a beautiful little stretch. And then bring your bum back towards your heels and arch the spine, or rather round the spine. Whew. Inhale, circle round, and exhale, bum towards the heels. Lovely, and change the direction. And you don't have to do exactly the same motion as me. You can go at your own pace. Maybe there's other sensations you want to feel. And coming back to center. Beautiful job. Tucking the toes under, we're just going to activate the core slightly here. And I want you to just hover the knees ever so slightly off the ground, just a little inch. just off, and feel that core already activating, already waking up. Really pull everything into the midline, pushing into the palms, don't collapse. And then push your hips up to downwards facing dog. So I want you to move the shoulder blades away from each other, so no pinching in here. Find some space in the shoulder blades. You can always move your hands further apart in this first downwards facing dog. And pedal the knees out. Take whatever movement you need to get comfy in this position. Maybe waggle your tail. And then we're going to come back to that hover position. So coming back to hover, back in your tabletop. And then lifting the tailbone up to downwards facing dog. Aiming the heels towards the ground, they may not get there. Hover tabletop. And then up to downwards facing dog. One more time, just like that, really warming up through the body. And downwards facing dog. Beautiful job. Look to the top of the mat, bend the knees generously, and you can walk or hop towards the top, heading to a forwards fold. And just hang here. You can bend the knees generously. Feel the belly drape over the top of the thighs. And grab opposite elbows. You can give it a gentle sway. And then slowly start to roll all the way up, vertebrae by vertebrae. The head comes up last. Beautiful. Okay. Feet together, big toes flush together. Inhale, reach all the way up to the sky, as tall as you can. And as you exhale, I want you to cactus the arms and give yourself a gentle chest opening back bend here. Reach all the way back up and then down to your forward fold. Halfway lift, lifting the chest and the crown of the head in line. And then exhale as you fold it back down. Inhale, plant the palms, step it back to your plank pose. Really, really strong through the core here. One straight line from tail to crown. And then shifting forward over your wrists. Bend the elbows super duper close to the rib cage. And then coming all the way down, we're going into our cobra pose. So press into the palms. Gentle back bend here, pressing into the tops of the feet. Keep the elbows bent. Exhale as you lower. Inhale, tuck the toes, pressing back up to your plank pose. Power up, you've got this. And then back to your downwards facing dog. I want you to lift your right leg up and back. You can have the toes pointed or you can have them flexed down to the ground. I don't mind as long as they're active, keeping the hips closed. And exhale as you bring that knee to your chest, crunch through the core, and then step that right foot between your hands. Turn that back left foot onto a 45-degree angle. And we're coming into your warrior one. So reach the arms all the way up to the sky. Really strong through both legs and bend into that front knee. Really press into the outer blade of the back foot. Take a deep breath in here. And exhale, bring the hands back down to the mat. Step those right toes back and you can take your vinyasa here. So coming over your wrists, bending the elbows, this time flipping onto the tops of the feet. Keep your hips and knees off the ground, upwards facing dog. And then coming back to your downwards facing dog. Let's take that on the other side. So lifting your left leg all the way up and back. Feel the opening in that right hamstring. And exhale, crunch it through, knee to chest. Step the left foot between the hands, right foot on a 45-degree angle. Close those hips. So actively think of pulling that left hip back. Reach the arms all the way up to the sky. And exhale, hands back to the ground. Take your vinyasa, or you can come back to downwards facing dog. And just take a second here. Take a deep breath, you can pedal it out. Take whatever it is you need. Okay, here we go, yogis. Inhale, lift the right leg up and back. And exhale, knee to chest, and then step that foot between your hands. Again, turning onto a 45-degree angle with that back left foot, reach all the way up to the sky. Warrior one, deep breath in. On your exhale, we're turning that back foot to a 90-degree angle, opening up the hips, bending a little further into that front leg. Warrior two. Look over those front fingers. And exhale, even deeper into the pose. Really think of pulling your hips in, so no arch in the back here. Really strong warrior. And then we're going to bend into the left knee. We're coming into a side lunge, a skandasana. So I want you to bend down into this left knee. You can bring the hands to prayer, or you can bring them to the ground. And then flex the right foot, coming into a side lunge at the back of your mat. Again, option to always bring the fingertips down. Inhale here, really feeling the stretch through this back and side of the right leg. And then we'll walk in the hands back to your low lunge, step it back to plank, and this time I'm going to be nice into your downwards facing dog. Beautiful. Lift the left leg all the way up and back, sweep it back. Really, really feel that stretch in the back right hamstring. And exhale into your warrior one. Again, conscious of the outer blade of that back foot really pressing into the mat. Inhale and exhale, coming into your warrior two. So again, think of that back foot on a 90-degree angle, so everything is facing the outer side of the mat now. Look over your front hand, strong through the legs, tuck your tailbone under, activate the core. And then here we go, we're going to bend into the back leg. Come to the back of the mat, flex the toes, woo! Hands into prayer. Take a deep breath in, flex those toes towards the ceiling, and a deep breath out. And again, walking the hands back around to your runner's lunge, stepping it back, downwards facing dog. Beautiful job. Drop the knees down. We're just going to take a couple more opening positions to finish. So I want you to reach the right toes back here. Keep them pressing into the ground. And then I want you to turn your entire body over to the right side. So that means turning the knee, turning the body, turning the leg. So we're in a modified side plank here. Press into that left palm. It should be directly under your shoulder. And then you can stay here, really pushing the hips up, opening through the side of that right body. Or you can challenge your balance a little bit and lift your right leg. Toes pointed or flexed, in line with the hip if you can. Really stretch through that top arm, pulling the body in opposite directions, strong through the core. Beautiful. Back to center, back to your tabletop. Let's take that on the other side. Here we go. So turning the entire body over to the left side. Turning the knee, turning the leg, reaching up and over with that left hand. And again, options here. You can stay here, just lifting those hips, feeling the stretch through the side body, or you can lift that top leg in line with the hip. Test your balance. This is a more energizing posture if you wanted to get yourself tingling and up and ready for your day. And back to center. Beautiful. Sit back onto your heels. We're going to finish with a couple of side sweeps. So I want you to reach your left hand behind you, just behind your glutes here, maybe just your fingertips will reach. And then you're going to sweep the right arm around as if you're smoothing something across a tabletop and lift your hips up at the same time. Just like so. And exhale down to center, flowing through to the other side. Lifting the hips, one side might feel different to the other. And down to center. Gorgeous. And then bringing both fingertips behind, lifting the hips up so you're really feeling a stretch through the front hip flexors. You can maybe even drop the head back. And down to center. Beautiful. Sit onto your bum. coming into a cobbler's pose. So bring the soles of your feet together, open your knees up like a book. Always option to put some books or blocks underneath your knees if you struggle with your hip flexibility. And then sit tall here, wrap your hands around your feet. Deep inhale. Option to stay here, or you can try folding in to get a deeper stretch into the groin. Try not to slump in too much, lengthen through the spine. And you can even aim to try and keep your elbows inside of your knees. And just take a couple of gentle moments here as the practice comes to a close. And gently coming back out of it. We're headed into our last posture. This is going to be happy baby. So coming down onto your back. Eee. This is one of my absolute favourites. But if this is the first time you're doing it, you might feel a bit silly. So bring your knees up, flex the feet, and then grabbing the outsides of your feet, pull the knees down to your armpits. So this literally, you see babies do this. This is why it's called happy baby. And from here, you can sway side to side. You can stretch one leg and then the other. Try and be conscious of your lower back being in contact with the ground to really get that lengthening sensation, and at the same time pulling those knees down towards your armpits. So again, it's the playing with the opposite sensations. One more breath in here and exhale. Let it go. Heading into your Shavasana. So legs as wide as the mat, arms as wide as the mat. Let the palms fall open, let the ankles drop open. Just tuck your chin slightly into your chest to lengthen the back of your neck. And start to slow down your breath. You made a good choice today if this is the way you started your day. It can only get better from here. You can stay in Shavasana for as long as you like, but I recommend staying for at least 5 minutes if you've got the time to do so. Longer if you can. Thank you for practicing with me. Namaste.